You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge. From four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football King Podcast. All right.
Intro hits, dude.
Intro has two. Thank you, AI. I'm just
You
kidding.
need
I
a
wrote that.
bleezy when you're playing that.
Totally wrote that myself.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode. It's been 2 weeks again. We're struggling a little bit over here, y'all. I'm not going to lie, but we're getting amped up for the actual start of football season this week, and we promise we will be here regularly for the foreseeable future. But yeah, we just had some stuff going on. Last week was the first week of school, so podcasting is kind of hard.
You got to get all your chores done before football season starts, because once it starts,
yeah.
it is
Right now, Saturday's for chewing right now.
This week, Austin and I opted out because Shane couldn't make it. Blake obviously couldn't make it, and he can't make it again. So we opted out. We're just going to do a big week this week.
We're just going to speed through some stuff. So get excited. This is everyone's favorite kind of episode, according to the 5 comments that I've ever seen on YouTube. Welcome to an unscripted episode of the Football is King podcast. There's no plan. We're just going to wing it. And it's going to go. I mean, there's a little bit of a plan. We still have to talk about the ACC, the SEC, fantasy football, and then all of the conferences except for the AFC and NFC East. So, it's going to be a short episode, y'all.
Wait, we don't have to cover SEC. We can cover SEC next week. SEC does not start play until Thursday.
Okay, so we got to make an on-air decision live, which we should have done in our pre-production meeting, but it's going to be, do we have enough time to cover the games that actually happen next week?
Yeah,
the SEC?
We only have 4 games next week.
I was going to say next week it's
all right. Fantastic.
We have Delaware State versus Hawaii. That's a joke of a game. Florida State, Georgia Tech, my favorite game of the week. Montana State, New Mexico, SMU, Nevada. We can cover those pretty quickly because no one actually cares.
I mean, one of those games, I believe, kicks off at 11 p.m. Central Time. So I will not be staying up to watch that game.
I think it's Hawaii.
Go Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Delaware State versus Hawaii, 10:59 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. But go Hawaii Rainbow.
It's not even on national. It's not on national television. It's not on national television.
Yeah. All right. Hey, second improvement that we're going to make to the podcast this year. It's a promise. We are not going to talk over each other. Once one person starts, we got to stop.
It's not a promise.
We got to. It's unbearable to listen to, but sure. And we're all guilty of it. We're just very, like we said in the intro, we're very passionate. All right. So there we go. On the fly, we will talk about the ACC, and then we will save
the SEC.
Yeah, we'll save the SEC, and then we'll probably save a couple of the NFL things to talk about too, because we got a while before that goes in there. So we won't cover all 3 of the all 6 of the remaining AFC NFL divisions, because then we will be here till I don't know,
maybe a long
time. Whatever time you're watching this, add 3 hours. That's how long it would take us.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Everyone, panties should be a little moist.
Right
it is
away.
the podcast eve of football, baby. I mean, there's not a greater time. I thought about booting up Friday Night Lights on Netflix.
I'm there.
And
Texas forever, brother.
I mean, watch a little Booby Miles. I mean, things seem. You can't have depression during football season. Things seem better. It's just
what I'm living for at the moment,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, probably all of us will have depression from the football season.
Oh, yeah,
5
definitely.
or 6, when Texas A&M is down to their 8th quarterback of the season.
Yeah.
We're not thinking like that, Austin.
Just saying.
I did on
when you do that.
Yesterday. I booted up some preseason football. I hadn't watched any of it because, let's be honest, it's crap.
No, dude, I've been watching.
But I was like, let's watch some Spencer Rattler. Let's see what he's got. I watched a little Dak Prescott this past weekend. I mean, Cowboys. And my wife had the audacity to say, "Do we have to watch this?" And I said, "Football season just started, and we're already starting with this type of negativity."
You know what? This is a terrible thing for someone who hosts a football podcast to say, but I'm Team Ashley on this one.
Absolutely not. I'm Team Shane here.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
I
Team
got a
Ashley on this one.
freaking replay of a damn game going
No.
on.
I'm not saying that we can't watch it, but preseason football is not a must watch, especially if it's not your team. If it's your team, then I'll give you it's maybe must watch.
I'll
But
give you this.
There's no reason.
I'd rather watch every team than my team right now in preseason football.
I was watching the Saints, and
You were saying you were watching the Cowboys.
I watched the Cowboys. I think was Saturday night.
I'm just saying. So
well, I mean, yeah,
you gotta pick your one game of the week. Okay, you know how it is. You can't just ram it in there. You gotta oil it up first. You got to just you can't just hit them with 18 games in the first weekend. It's like, all right, this week we'll watch the one game of my team, and then the next week 2 of preseason maybe we watch Caleb Williams for a little bit, and then my team, and then you gotta go. You can't just be like, hey, we're gonna get the red zone going for preseason football.
Dog, I'm raw dogging every preseason game right now.
That's different. That's different. You are not married. There's a different story there.
She has to watch it.
It's different. It's a different thing.
I will say I have trained her well because she said, Shane, we're watching football for a bunch of guys that are going to be selling insurance here in a couple weeks.
That's true.
Right,
that's solid argument. It's solid argument.
Probably some real estate agents in there as well.
There's at least a few felons.
Felons. A few of the felons are going to make the active rosters, but yeah.
Yeah, but
oh well. That's
I will say, not terribly impressed with old Spencer Rattler after old Mickey Loomis got up there and said he was God's greatest creation to this earth. Not real impressive. A lot of balls in the ground. I mean, he only threw 7 passes, but I think half of them were in the ground.
All right, can we just?
Yeah, can we not talk about Spencer Rattler?
No, but can we? But because you brought it up, can we jump to something real quick? And it pains me to say this because I have been such a hater. I hated this guy in college.
You think Caleb Williams is going to be pretty good?
Some of the throws he made this week.
Oh,
don't you do it. Don't you fall into this trap.
All right, listen.
It's preseason.
Bro, when he rolled out, when he's here,
yep.
And he literally looks around, sees the DN coming around, and he just whoop, and then throws across his body. Dude, that thing was sexy. Throw was sexy.
That super sexy throw against those insurance salesmen. Fantastic.
The starters were in. He made that one rollout to the sideline.
No way. It was all 11 starters.
Also, it doesn't matter.
In the end zone, and that dude standing. Okay, first off, receiver definitely should be cut. Dude is
that was Roma Dunze.
I know. It's so bad. So bad.
No, do you see how many lines are on that field from the soccer field?
Yeah, for
how
sure.
do you know which one is out of bounds?
But his feet are so out of bounds. But that throw he made right there, you got to admit, the kid has the arm talent. Listen, I will never say anyone that cries to his mommy on the field is going to be a superstar, but the kid has some talent.
But here's the other thing about you hear NFL that are starters say, I used the preseason to try things I wouldn't try in the regular season.
Yeah.
So
correct. Patrick Mahomes threw a behind the back pass.
Mm-hmm.
Today.
Also,
this week.
Every single person that plays,
they're practicing that.
Every single person that has come out this week from all sorts of things, from the Patrick Mahomes thing, from Caleb Williams, from Justin Fields having some big moments, all the defensive guys who ever played in the league say we don't play defense during the preseason, and they don't scheme a defense against you.
Nope.
That's
No,
the
for
difference.
sure.
You're just practicing your base thing. So Caleb Williams is looking at stuff he saw in high school.
I'm not saying he's good. I can't stand Caleb Williams.
I'm just saying Justin Fields made that exact same throw this weekend.
You can go back and re-watch the tape. I am not a Caleb Williams guy. I'm anti.
Jonathan really does not want you to go rewatch the tape.
Do not rewatch the
Don't
tape.
rewatch any tape.
Please do not rewatch the tape. But
Is that a cat?
no, that's
one of the
our-
plethora of dogs.
Yeah, we
Another
got,
thing that we know
got-
that Shane did not watch the last episode.
yeah, that would be Evie. That'd be Miss Evie over there. Little cowboy corgi. It's feeding time in the house. Listen, Caleb Williams, I'm not saying he's gonna be good. I'm saying he has a very impressive arm. That's all I'm saying.
Anyone at this level's got an impressive.
That's
arm.
not true. That's not
That's
true
not
at all.
true at all. Have you seen Tua's arm? His little noodle arm?
I could throw a ball as far as Tua.
All right, that's wrong, but,
You
but
bet.
it's good for clips. So good job.
He used to be able to throw a pigskin.
I'm also taller than Tua. I throw that pigskin over that freaking mountain.
The lovely irony of that, because Uncle Rico is your quarterback this year, and it's gonna go. So well.
Dude, I'm so pumped about it though. I really am. I was okay either way. I was sitting there going, man, if Aiden O'Connell's the guy, I hope he plays really well. I hope he has a
he's
great
not
year.
a guy. Aiden O'Connell can't even sell insurance.
He might be a good JV football coach though.
There you go.
But Gardner Minshew, dude, the Raiders culture is about to get amazing. We're gonna be doing naked yoga before games. We're gonna be zenning out, living in minivans. Oh, I'm pumped.
Jonathan needs Gardner to be good at football because he's taking his job if he doesn't. Because that dude is a construction hand if I ever seen.
Oh
one.
yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. If Gardner Minshew walks in my office right now, my boss would be like, "That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy."
All right. You know what this podcast needs? A little bit of direction. Before we get into college football stuff, we do have breaking
I
news.
like that
'Cause
zigzag.
that's what we do. I know.
Breaking news.
Y'all see that Colt McCoy retired today?
What?
Yeah.
How many
Dude,
years did he play?
All right, listen.
Still didn't make as much money as Chase Daniel, though. So
He's a
doing
UT
something
guy,
wrong.
but you got to give the dude respect. When his number was called, he did well.
He's
did well.
37 years old. He's gonna go into the booth somewhere. He's been in the NFL for 14 seasons.
He'll be a good broadcaster somewhere.
Yeah, for the Longhorn Network that doesn't exist anymore.
No,
I mean,
I bet he ends up.
have you listened to Colt McCoy talk?
Yeah,
You cannot put him on a national broadcast. Everyone would hate it because he
I
sounds
went
too
to-
Southern.
I went to a speech with him. He gave a message at what's that church in Georgetown? Big church. Austin, you live in Georgetown. Big
I
church
don't
in
go to
Georgetown.
church in Georgetown. Celebration.
Celebration. I went to a message he
Right down
gave
the street
at
from me.
Celebration in 2010. He was I think he was still with the Longhorns. Yeah, I think he was a senior.
Hey,
Him and
Jordan Shipley.
Jordan Shipley
I was like, it had to be.
talked at Celebration Church. Colt McCoy is a good guy right there.
Colt McCoy's a great guy.
Terrible choice in colleges. Great human being.
Debatable. He became
That's-
one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. But
He
yeah,
Hey.
was a really good college quarterback.
he got him a ranch and some Texas Longhorns, I bet.
He did.
no, that would be Jordan's probably living on one of his ranches out there.
Jordan Shipley owns a ranch real estate development company, if I believe.
He does. He
Right.
was selling some land right down the road from me.
Yeah,
I thought about
that-
calling him.
I was
That
about to
sounds-
say, I think it's him, his brother, and I think there's 2 Aggies involved. I think there's 2 Longhorns and 2 Aggies.
That
selling-
sounds like a money laundering scheme.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
ever
100%,
heard it.
dude. They're
Just
selling
using
ranches
those
in
big
Slate,
old
Texas.
names from college football in Texas to sell ranches back and forth between the same two people.
It's a genius idea. Genius idea.
And the money's immediately going to the NIL foundation at each respected schools.
Listen, if there's one thing I have
House
to gripe
divided
about,
realty.
if when I pass on and go meet my good Lord, if there's one thing I have to gripe about, he could have just made me good enough to play college. I didn't have to go pro. I could have made plenty of money after college. I could have just sold land. I could have sold insurance.
He could have made you good enough to play high school football, Jonathan, and he didn't do that. What makes you think you're going to play
No,
college?
I understand. I get that. I mean, okay, let's be honest here. We could have all played high school, not seen the field in high school.
I could have been a great kicker. I won the kicking contest. I also won the kicking contest when our football coach came to soccer practice to see who would be the kicker because our kicker quit. He had us all line up and kick, and I won. And then I just said, hey, do I have to come to practice every day? Like, I'll just come once a week and kick some footballs through the field goal. It'll be fine. And he was like, no, you got to come every day. And I was like, all right, I'm not doing that.
You should have played, dude. You should have just kicked. We could have claimed at least one high school career.
Yeah, if my parents were raised right, they would have had me kicking since I was 6 years old.
I was going to say.
Right.
Austin could have been buying us all Coors Light.
Everyone needs to teach their sons to be kickers and punters and long snappers, and your daughters need to be soccer goalies. And you will send them to college for free.
Golf.
Okay, there you go. So we got options. I'll say that we got options for the guys. They got 3 different positions. You can play golf if you've got the money to have your children play golf, or soccer goalie. But you got to make sure that your daughter can touch the crossbar.
Well, that counts, Joe.
That counts. Yeah, that counts all of us out.
No. You can teach them to jump. The crossbar is not that tall.
How tall is it? Last time I walked on a soccer field, I was like 16.
It might be 8 feet. Like, it's not that tall.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Look,
my one goalie friend is 6'6". So, like, I don't have relativity.
Yeah.
I'm still hanging my hat on that. I would have been a star high school football player if 8th grade torn ACL didn't happen. It would have.
Shane, I love you to death, bro. You are 5'7" and 130 pounds soaking wet.
5'7" was probably generous.
Also, so was 130.
Yeah.
All right. Man, remember that time we said we needed direction and then we talked for 7 minutes about random nonsense? That's good. Let's talk about actual things. Let's talk about the ACC, I guess. It's just the stupidest conference in all of football, and I hate it so much.
I have things to say, though.
Does anyone else feel the same? Because it really grinds my gears.
I mean, they're really going to take a lot of heat because there is no more Pac-12. So them in the Big 12 kind of.
The ACC would be fine if freaking Stanford didn't exist and Cal. How do you let teams on the Pacific Coast join the Atlantic Coast Conference? Our country is so big. It's humongous.
Well, they also have.
It's going to get worse, Austin. It's not stopping here, dude. In the next 2 years, we're going to see a huge shift in conferences again. Wow.
I know, but it's just like this one just is the most infuriating to me.
They also have SMU.
Yeah, but at SMU, it's definitely not on the Atlantic coast, but it's at least halfway there compared to the Pacific coast.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the SMU. Oh, jeez. SMU is – there's Evie. SMU has been waiting for this opportunity. I think SMU could be an actual problem in the ACC. Not this year, but I think in the years to come.
Not a chance.
Yeah, no. You got Miami, Florida State.
I'm saying
Okay, all right, all right,
SMU's
wait,
recruiting.
Time out. Miami has been back how many years?
They're still going to be better than SMU.
They're good this year. Correct. They're great this year. They might damn well be the best team in ACC.
Probably not.
But last year, Miami could be good. They weren't. They just weren't.
No, I'll give you all of that. I'm just gonna say
Miami hasn't been good since the early 2000s. We get
yes.
stuck in this bubble because we're 90s kids and we're like, oh, the U. It's like, this is so fucking cool. No, dude.
Oh, there it goes.
The U hasn't been like relative.
No, I'm relevant was the word you were looking for.
Relevant.
But yes,
Relevant.
no, I'm with you. I have no hopes for Miami. The only thing that Miami is good at is stealing your recruits on that stupid video game. That's it. But
I finally played, boys.
Speaking of recruits, I think SMU already struggles in the state of Texas with recruiting, but they're really going to struggle now that the SEC is around everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think
and they don't have the clout from the 90s kids like whatever. They don't have the clout of any of these recruits because they haven't been good in their entire lifetime because they got the death penalty.
Yeah, they got the death penalty.
The death penalty did its job. It straight up killed SMU.
Yeah.
But, okay. All right. Austin, you are the new head coach of SMU. How do you handle the situation?
We just try our best. That's what we
try
do.
Our best.
We try our best. What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean? What do I do?
What do you do? Like, what do you make? What changes do you make to help? What's your recruiting pitch?
Give me money.
I mean, definitely now you've got we're in the ACC. We're not in the whatever
in the
Midwest.
ACC.
Yeah, we're in a bigger conference. But if I'm a recruit, I'm saying, yeah, but Texas is talking to me and they're in the SEC. So
okay, so if I am SMU, I do what the 90s did, or Miami did with the 90s.
What, rich blonde girls?
That could work, but I was more focused on I mean, you are in Dallas. You could go out and do that, but I was more focused on you have NIL now. You have a very, very wealthy alumni. You go out and get money for NIL. You focus on the Dallas-Fort Worth kids.
You're never going to outpay.
No.
You're never going to outpay big schools.
No, but what you could do is you could say, hey, man, your parents could come to every single game. Every single game. Your boys could come to every single game. Because I'm recruiting a kid from South Oak Cliff, right? That kid's parents doesn't have shit. So I'm going to give them money. Their parents are going to be able to come to every game. Their boys who are still on the block, they're not even like going to college. They're not doing anything. They're working at the local Wendy's down the street because they flunked out of South Oak Cliff. Like, you got to play to the demographic. You got to play to the area.
You got to amend your pitch. I like your idea of your pitch, but you need to make a huge amendment to it.
Okay.
You got to look at these kids that are going to be decent in college, but aren't going to get professional looks.
Fantastic. I go to Frisco Liberty High School, and I go to a 3-star, and I say, hey, man, you can be a superstar here, and you might get a chance at the pros. Or you can go play at Texas and never see the field.
I'm just saying, yeah.
NIL, you're next to home, and by the way, you come from money because you play at Frisco Liberty or Lone Star or name a Frisco team, and your daddy has money, you're now going to have an SMU education with all our connections in Dallas. And guess what? You're going to be living in Highland Park in the next 15 years. Cool. I'm there.
What I meant by that is I'm saying NIL really changes the game with recruiting because you can promise a kid guaranteed money for 4 years that they might not get in the NFL, right? Like how many people actually make it to the end of their first contract? And usually their first contract, unless you are a first round draft pick, is going to end up being lower than some of their NIL money. So it's like, so you're really looking for that, like those 3 and 4 star kids that are going to be good enough to play in college, but maybe they're a little undersized, so they're not actually going to get offers from like the NFL, or they're not going to get drafted or anything like that. You're looking for, your speed demons that are tough maybe, but they're undersized, or maybe they don't have the best hands or whatever it's going to be. So I mean, there's room to grow there, but I mean,
Really,
you got to convince some big wigs that cash has got to flow.
All right. Here's my next question. This is a real question. All right. And this is hard for us to grasp. The ACC doesn't break up. Nothing changes in the next 20 years. ACC is the same teams. Would you rather be SMU or Miami?
Would I rather be the college, or would I rather go to SMU or Miami?
No. Would you rather be – so say you have a 20-year contract with SMU or a 20-year contract with Miami. Would you rather be SMU or Miami?
Miami.
Why?
You know how much money is flowing into the city of Miami right now?
I
Okay,
think
but
I'd
why?
rather be-
They are trying to renew all of the sports of that town.
Okay.
And they are just pouring cash in.
All right, here's my thing.
I think I'd rather be SMU.
I think I'd rather be SMU.
There's more. I think truly, if SMU has any life in one season of football, I think the amount of money that would come into that school is unbelievable.
You don't think the amount of money that will go into Miami?
A brand new stadium right now. I drive by it every day. It's in the wealthiest zip code in the state by far, not even close. And on top of that, like, you're in the same conference, right? You can't recruit anymore as Miami. You can't Miami in 10 years. These kids don't even know about the old school U, right? They don't know about it. And so in 10 years, it's really not relevant. So then SMU's like, SMU, Miami, I think I'd rather be SMU.
Y'all got some sweet Texas bias going on over here.
I do. No, I think
you gotta think those kids in Florida, which is also an amazing place to recruit, don't love the University of Miami and don't want to go live on South Beach. And they don't want to play in Hard Rock, and they don't want to go play down. I mean, they are good. You don't think that they got money in Miami? You don't think that the drug cartels don't got a little money to give around?
They do, but you have. I mean, it's the same thing. You're competing with Florida State. Right.
Okay. Texas A&M.
Texas
Baylor,
A&M.
TCU. Oklahoma recruits Dallas really well.
Oklahoma does.
So you got 3 SEC schools to compete with.
But you're still. I mean, yes, I understand. But
I changed my answer. Austin just convinced me.
The only school you got to fight with the SEC in Florida is Florida, and they are a dumpster fire. They have their over under this season is 4.5 wins.
I will say my argument kind of went void there when I went that direction, because I was going to say if Florida State ends up in the SEC, but I also stated before I made this agreement that the conference doesn't change.
Yeah, it's going to stay the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
once you bring in recruiting, the amount of I
still want SMU.
I feel like I always forget about this is not a knock at Baylor, TCU, or Oklahoma. Like, they're good schools. They are. I mean, whatever. But I do forget about them. When you're not – all I ever think about is Texas A&M and Texas. I know they're there, but I don't like –
I mean, I agree. I think SMU overtakes TCU no matter what at this point.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
How
long is Sonny Dykes going to stay their head coach?
Cool. He had one good year. What did they do
No,
last year?
he does not have one good year. This man is an amazing coach.
No,
He
he's
has a
good coach.
track record.
He's a good coach. What did he do last year? He had a flash in the pan.
Well, this year the Big 12's kind of open for the taking, so we'll see what
I was
happens.
gonna say,
I
right?
don't
Yeah.
think it is. I don't see how it's open for the taking. I think there's 6 teams that can compete for it, but I don't think
that's a lot.
TCU's. I don't think TCU. I think there's 2 heavy favorites, and then I think there's 4 that could be in the situation if everything breaks right.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Who's
on
your
that.
heavy favorites?
Utah.
Utah. If you made me put, well, it's not a lot. If you made me put everything I own on one team to win the Big 12, I would take Utah.
Who are you taking second?
That's
Kansas State.
Kansas State lost their offensive coordinator.
I was like, you were so close.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I'm
fine.
taking Kansas second.
I
I
think
do
so
like
too.
Kansas.
I like
think
Kansas.
will
I
be
like
my
Kansas,
third.
but
I think Kansas will be my third. I like.
No, I feel like it's gotta
I
be-
like Oklahoma State a
I was
lot.
like, it's got to be Oklahoma State. They made it to the Big 12 championship game
But
last year
the
with a
consistency-
terrible roster.
The consistency of Oklahoma State with Mike Gundy, like you know what you're getting,
Yeah.
but can he win the big games?
I mean, he can now that the big games aren't against the same teams that were the big
No,
games were
100%.
always against.
Here's the thing
I
about the
think
Big
Mike
maybe.
12.
Gundy could
He's
be.
got a better chance.
Shane missed the episode where we talked about the Big 12.
Right. Yeah.
I asked the question: will Mike Gundy step up to be the powerhouse of
No.
the Big 12?
There's not going to be – that's the beauty of the Big 12, I think.
I was
I
gonna
don't think
say.
there's going to be a powerhouse.
I could see look, out of this conference every year, I could see Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah, throw BYU in there some years,
No.
and Iowa State in there some years. I could see
Yeah, you
that.
can throw Iowa State
like
in there
Iowa
some years.
State.
That's fine.
I
Yeah.
like Iowa State there.
I'm just
like
I think that the Big 12 is going to be the fun conference where you just it's going to be just like it was before.
It's gonna be
Anyone
chaos.
could beat anyone
Yeah,
on
it's
any
gonna be
given
chaos.
Saturday. It's going to be great.
Hey, I
It's
want
just-
to point out that all 3 of us, not a single one of us, said Colorado.
No,
No.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Never.
Dude, I'd venture to say
They're gonna win 3 games this year, 4 games.
No, they'll win more than 3.
they'll win. They'll win 6.
Let me see. I gotta see their schedule.
I'll say there'll be 6, 5 or 6 games. But here's my thing about Colorado. I think Dion's out of there in the next 3 years.
I think even with Dion the next 20 years, I don't think they'll be no good.
I hope he gets fired right away.
Well,
I
I
like
think-
Dion. I
I
think
think
he's
without
hilarious.
his sons, I think it's hilarious. I don't think he's a good coach.
I think he's bad for the sport.
I tend to agree.
He sets a very dangerous precedent that will just put people in because they're famous and not.
Exactly.
They might be 3-0 going up into Baylor.
Baylor's dangerous.
And then they're gonna drop probably 4 or 5 in a row, maybe 6, and then maybe win
So
2.
they're going to repeat last year.
Yeah, I think that
Win 3 games and lose
you
everything.
got North Dakota State.
I mean, that's the same thing. That's the same thing every bad team does, right? You always schedule cupcakes at the beginning of the year. You get on a win streak, and then once you get into your conference schedule, if you're one of the bad teams, you lose a bunch of games.
yeah,
They
might
and
go on a
the end of their
5-6
dude,
win.
the end of their schedule is brutal.
yeah. They got Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and then Oklahoma State to finish out the year.
Yeah, but
Dude, all right. I have a question.
they might have that Big Mo going at that point in time, though. So you never know. Got
I-
that Big Mo
I'm-
going.
I'm obviously like Shane and I obviously have 0 ties to the Big 12. Austin has to suffer through a lot of UT stuff.
Not anymore. No more Big 12.
Well, that's
yeah.
true. But for me, my favorite team in the Big 12 has always been Texas Tech. I just want them to be like semi-decent. Like, I love the culture of Texas Tech. Like, let's not play any defense. Let's sling the ball and let's try to score points.
I will say this. I don't hope for this. I'm not asking for this either. But there could be a press conference after Deion Sanders in Colorado goes into Lubbock, Texas, and the press conference after the game might be a whole lot of tears from the Colorado side because there might be quite a few racial innuendos said at that game.
Well, let's hope that does not happen.
I prefaced it by saying I'm not asking for this, and I hope it does not happen. But if I know anything about Lubbock
is Lubbock. We already had it. We already had an episode.
Just have some motor oil for a little
some
dessert.
motor
oil for dessert.
We already had an episode on Big 12. Let's get back to the ACC. A little.
Yeah, I would like to clarify that this is not alcohol because that would make us not monetized on YouTube. So this is definitely just some motor oil that I poured for myself.
What?
Apparently, you're not allowed to drink alcohol on YouTube and get paid for it. So it's just like whatever. Like we're making money off this anyway. All right.
How's that work?
What do you mean? How's that work?
You can't, dude. I watched so many YouTube videos where they're drinking beer.
Their videos not making any money.
But
Pat
that's
McAfee
like what they
shows on
do for a
YouTube.
living.
Then I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So
You gotta
what if
be
we
who
get
you can afford to
sponsored
be,
by-
Jonathan. You gotta be who you can afford to be.
What if we get sponsored by said Mountain Water,
You can be sponsored by the alcoholic beverage.
but we can't make money on the video?
No, you just can't. You're not supposed to be actively like drinking or anything. If YouTube is saying that like you're promoting anything that is not up to their moral standard, then they can make it to where your video
There's
doesn't. make
porn
money.
stars on YouTube.
Moral standards.
They've got weird moral standards. Okay. It's the same thing with the Democratic National Convention tonight.
Oh, he brought it up.
Out there giving away free vasectomies and abortions.
He brought it up. Oh, Austin, you can't.
Do we
be
want to
saying
go
that.
there?
That's
No.
something. That's
I just
something
wanted to-
Shane and I can say. You can't say that.
Why not? I just wanted that one comment in there. My mom's gonna be so proud of me. I can't wait for that text tomorrow.
Oh,
All right, we went there. Their candidates, the original Monica Lewinsky, just ain't getting the set, just getting better
All right,
posts than
whoa,
Monica
whoa.
Lewinsky.
See, we had very different comments there.
hey, she gave a 2.5-minute speech today and said nothing.
See, I was not saying anything specific about a person or a candidate, just that we were talking about the hypocrisy. That was the hypocrisy. That I
The
wanted to bring up.
hypocrisy of a candidate not saying anything is hypocrisy.
That's fair. All right, so the
Probably
Atlantic
next
word
Coast.
Monica
salad for you.
Lewinsky.
I'm saying out of the ACC, I'm watching NC State this year. I
All
like
right, I like
State.
NC State, but I want to do a little.
No, North Carolina too. I always have faith in old Mac Brown for some odd reason.
I mean, is he not dead?
How old is he?
I don't
He's
know.
old as dirt.
He look, but I mean, I
He
thought
was the coach that we looked at when we were little.
I thought he was 70 when we were little.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
so,
He
too.
is
He's just-
72 years old currently.
He's
Really?
only 72.
You ever notice that?
He hasn't aged any, or I mean, I don't
He
know. what
doesn't
it
look
would-
any older.
Yeah.
That's just
You ever notice that old people, when you're little, just seem a lot older than they actually are?
I mean, yeah. I had a student ask if I was 40 years old, and I was ready to
Dang,
punch them. They're
Austin.
a
Look
high
at-
school.
okay, wait. Look at these two pictures. If it comes that's the same person.
No, he's definitely looks so much older in that picture on the left, or whatever. The one
He does look really old there.
Much older.
But that
Uh,
means, all right, so he was coaching when we were like,
I mean, he was in his
7.
50s. He was in his 50s.
he was in his 50s.
That just shows you, just like the presidency, when you're the head coach of a major college football program, it ages you.
No,
that stress ages you hard.
That shows you as modern science gets better, our aging process gets a lot easier because
No, don't tell me that Mac was doing Botox. Come on.
no,
Mac, do
no,
better than
no,
that.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people in the early 2000s in their 50s do not look like 50-year-olds I'm friends
Oh
with.
yeah, that's true.
His wife was born in 1992.
No way.
His wife is 32 years old. 33
She's
years
my
old.
age?
Yep.
Was she a cheerleader? Or like, what was she?
Sally Brown.
Hold up.
She's a-
Time out. We got to do research.
All right,
This
y'all-
is the new
Oh
segment.
wait,
right here.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's when they got married. Maybe that's
Oh,
when they
you
got married.
son, you
Oh
dumb
my
son of a gun.
Dude, that is
You
such a
dumb
crazy
son of a gun.
accusation.
Yeah,
Alright,
that
I
must
wanna-
be what that means. It says M 1992.
Yes.
Yes, that means
Yes.
married in 1992. You buffoon.
All right, Shane's an idiot.
Oh man.
All right,
I was
I
like,
want-
that's where Coach Steve Sarkisian learned it from. He's following
Yeah.
Mac's footsteps.
all right,
Hey,
I wanna-
on that note, wait, hold on. While we're still on Texas coaches and their significant others, I don't know if we ever gave a shout out to the guy who got married his stripper girlfriend or whatever with the monkey.
with the monkey.
Yeah, good for him. I don't
Crazy.
actually know what his name was, but
I don't want to know what that monkey's doing with them at night. That's all I know.
Hey, you want to talk about YouTube's moral compass? Talk about college football's moral compass.
be who you can afford to be.
Hey,
Also, Steve Sarkisian got divorced this year.
Really? From
Yeah.
that one woman?
was
Huh?
alcohol involved?
So
Strippers?
one of the
Cocaine and strippers?
one of the sports podcasts that I like to frequent that is from the Austin area that mainly talks about UT football.
Yelling
They,
at
they
security
joked
guards?
around and just said like we gotta make sure we gotta hire someone to make sure that like Coach Steve's not getting drunk every day now that he's going through this heartbreak.
Oh, dude, he's gonna end up back in rehab.
He's gonna end up back in rehab. Like so, it's like ooh, I hope and we hope that does not happen.
He's gonna have a girlfriend, end up like Chris Beard,
Or Les Miles situation.
Les Miles. Oh,
Yeah, we
jeez.
can't
He
have
loses,
it.
he loses a little bit of cred with the recruits.
Bobby
for getting
Petrino.
it.
Bobby Petrino's the best. Get blasted and be naked on a motorcycle with a blonde chick. That's crazy, bro. All right. I want to do something.
All right.
Florida State, 9.5 wins.
Under.
Under. All right. Shane,
Yeah, under.
I'm under.
And I
Miami.
feel bad for him. I mean, I feel horrific for Florida State. They clearly had one of the best teams in the country last year. Their team gets
They got
ravaged
They got
ravaged by the draft and transfers and all this stuff. And their team is going to be pathetically bad compared to how they were last year. And then because they lost 2 quarterbacks, they are out. And it's like it's the way the cookie crumbles.
You know
But-
what? It's also biasy versus conference. I think if they were an SEC team and it happened, I think they still get the nod in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Eh,
they should have got the
man,
Norwegian
being on your third string quarterback is
It's rough.
It's
Right.
just not an ideal situation.
By the
Although-
letter of the law, they should have got the nod, but we did
They
not
should have
want to
got the
see
nod.
that.
All right, hey, on that note, I actually looked at Florida State's schedule and it's really not that bad. So they're gonna need an upset in there somewhere from a not like they gotta play at Notre Dame. We'll chalk that up as a loss. Because I don't know. But you never know. Notre Dame could be terrible. Notre Dame is one of those teams that's always overhyped.
I don't think Notre Dame's going to be that good.
But I think at Notre Dame, I don't think Florida State's that great either. I think Notre Dame could win that game. They got to play at Miami, but who knows? Miami could be terrible. I think their bigger upsets is at Duke.
Yeah,
No.
it is kind of a favorable.
Dude, Duke's
schedule.
quarterback is that guy from
No, he's
Texas
not.
that's a monster.
Oh, yes, he is. But here's the thing. New coaching staff, new quarterback, lost weapons,
That's
they
fine.
are you know how many all right, fun fact about Duke. I just learned this. This is crazy.
Who'd they get as their coach? I don't even remember.
You know how many so offense and defensive line. You know how many starters they are returning
On just the defensive and offensive line.
on both lines?
So there's 9 players total.
Yep. You know how many they're returning?
1.5.
0.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know
Not
what his
a
numbers.
single starter is returning.
Not an ideal situation.
They're
See,
going to
those
be
are the
terrible.
the programs like the Dukes, like Duke, Cal, those kind of programs who don't have a lot of players go pro. It's based off of their classes where like they have that good senior class where they've got all somehow their recruits all align and they're good for that 1 year and then they're just terrible once they graduate. So sorry, they're not good for that 1 year. They're good for like 4 years from their freshman year to their senior year because that recruiting class did really well,
Yeah.
and then they suck because they couldn't replicate. But that's the beauty of college football to me is that you get those random teams that you got to play where they've got a bunch of 6-year seniors on the offensive and defensive line that are like 25 and are grown men.
Grown
Just-
men.
And
Playing
but like
amongst boys.
they've played together for forever and they're great. But
They're
now
young.
I think a lot of those programs are going to cease to exist because you're going to have with the transfer portal and
Well, they're just
NIL,
gonna
like,
get
they're just going to get picked apart.
Yeah, they're just going to get ravaged. That's why non-power forward, right? It's power
Yeah.
forward now, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. We need to find a Fantastic Four. I don't know. We got to switch it up somehow.
Got to do something different.
Is that what that movie was? The Fantastic Four?
Yeah,
It's-
that's exactly what it was about.
It's one of the most
Uh,
incredible. Yeah, it's one of the most famous comic book series of all time. But yeah,
I knew
these,
that.
These mid-major schools have zero chance because the second one of them looks good, all their coaches are gone.
oh yeah,
All their players are gone. Like, I'm talking like if you look at it, right, the new ruling, you can have as many coaches on staff as you want, and they can be on the field. Okay. So Miami, Ohio looks amazing one year, and they're like, these young coaches are just killing it. Cool. I'm now Kellen DeBoer, and I'm going to go take the head coach of Miami, Ohio. I'm going to pay him more than he's making as a head coach at Miami, Ohio. And he's going to be a offensive scout.
Ohio State just did this. I mean,
It's going to happen every year. If you have a good year at a mid-major school, you will be on a big program coaching staff the next year, and you will make more money. You'll be at Ohio State, Alabama, Texas A&M, whatever, any of the Power 4 schools. And then if you're a wide receiver that runs a 4.2 and you have a great year at Western Michigan, guess what, buddy? You're now playing for USC. You're now playing for Oklahoma. You're now playing for Oklahoma State. Like these smaller schools are going to get picked apart every single year. We will never see in the new playoff era, we will never see a non-power 4 school be competitive in a sense of like consistent basis.
oh yeah.
They're just going to get destroyed every year. All right, back to what we were doing.
man, I'm messing around with ESPN's college football playoff predictor right now, and it's wild. Sorry, you were talking about the 12. You mentioned something about the 12-team playoff, and I remember them having that.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me what your situation can be and how you like they're ranking the percentage that you make the playoff. For example, I picked Georgia just because whatever. And then it has you pick your 3 toughest matchups, which for them is at Alabama, at Texas, at Ole Miss. I had them lose 2 of them. And then
2 wins or 2 losses still get you.
Correct. And then question 3, will Georgia win the conference championship game? I said they don't even make the conference championship game.
And they still get in.
The percent chance to make it, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and what I think we're missing on this playoff change
Is that it's so dumb?
What? No, see, you and I differ on this. I think it should just be the 12 best schools. I don't think
Also would be
automatic
dumb.
bids-
It would
I
still
don't
be
think-
dumb.
I don't think automatic bids should be there. But so what we're missing here is it's only locked in for 2 years. Is this year or next year?
It's going to go to 8. They're going to realize that they
See,
should have
but-
went to
See,
8.
but there's coaches out there saying 16 now.
Oh,
There's players out there asking for 16. And here's the thing is I don't think we're going to have automatic bids.
No, but they're gonna have to take a week away from the season, from the regular season, to do 16. They have to.
They would have to. But what I think would happen, okay, fine. You don't get a third cupcake game.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to.
You're not actually have to play. But what I think happens is I think in 2026, we're looking at a situation where if you're not a Power 4 school, you're out. Like it's said and done.
It's never gonna happen. The only way that happens is that the NCAA doesn't exist.
The power what are they freaking called? Power 5? What are the non-Power 4 conferences called now?
The other conferences.
I think it's called G6 or something like that.
Sure.
Sure.
They're going to leave the NCAA if that happens.
What? No. So I heard today. I was listening to Josh Pate. If Josh Pate wants to pay me, I will leave this podcast and go to CBS.
That's fair. That's a good decision.
Yeah, it is a great decision. I will take you boys to Nashville with me. I will get my own show and we'll start somewhere.
I'm good. I like my job, but I'll zoom in. It's fine.
But here's the thing. Josh Pate was talking about today. There's the non-Power 4 schools are meeting this week about the future playoff situation. And what he thinks is happening and what has been rumored to be happening is basically an NIT for football. So how basketball has an NIT bracket.
Yeah, we got it.
And so
they're going to leave the NCAA.
They're going to need their own like championship, right? Like Division II championship, So, they can claim their own title, but it's in today's world, we're not going to have a Louisville from a couple years ago make the playoff and be like a top 4 team. Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
Which is fine
because we're tired of watching these teams get blown out by actual competitive teams.
Yeah, I'm just saying if all of a sudden they're going to make it to where if you are not one of these schools from these conferences, those schools will be furious and they will do something about it. Or it'll be the other way around where the Power 4 conferences will leave the NCAA to become their own super league or whatever.
Well, that's what everyone's saying, right? The super conference is coming. It's just a matter of time.
It just can't be run by the NCAA. That's the whole.
I think
it's going to have to be its own organization.
I think what will happen is I think Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, those type of schools in the ACC. I think the ACC is dead once Florida State and Clemson find a way out. I think we're looking at a Pac-12 situation where our super conferences come in the sense of Miami, Florida State, North Carolina, Clemson. Like when they decide to jump ship. And if I'm Greg Sankey, I'm like, dude, give me Miami. Give me Clemson. Give me Florida State.
Nope.
Dude, it's going to happen either way. So it's either the Big Ten is going to take them or we're going to take them. I'd rather us take them.
Give them to the Big Ten.
Why?
I mean, why? First of all, as an A&M fan, stop inviting football teams better than your football team into your conference.
They're not better.
They are. We've won literally nothing.
They're not.
All we have won in the SEC is a Heisman Trophy. That's it.
All right.
That's all we've won.
If Florida State played the SEC schedule last year, they would not have been 13-0.
Well, that is obvious. But we can't beat Mississippi State.
Clemson plays the SEC schedule. The years they won the national title would not have been a playoff team.
No, that Deshaun Watson Clemson team was amazing.
Dude, if they would have had to play Georgia and Alabama those years in regular season.
But your SEC schedule, you don't always play Georgia and Alabama.
No, I understand. But, dude, teams drop games all the time. Georgia was down by 14 in the second quarter last year to Missouri.
Yeah, I mean Missouri is also ranked number 11
Missouri's
or 9.
Missouri's
They're a good
fine.
team.
Missouri's a good team. But that's my thing is all right, so Clemson, right? The little sexual harasser. What's his name?
Dabo?
Deshaun Watson, not
Okay, first of all, we have to before Dabo Sweeney has never been accused of sexual harassment,
no.
and we would like to say that is not what he meant. He just heard Clemson and guessed Dabo.
Sorry, Dabo.
Deshaun. Dabo is full of shit.
Also-
man. He doesn't touch people.
Also, Deshaun Watson, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know.
Allegedly, every single female he's ever looked at has been sexually harassed. All right, so back to my point. That
It
team,
might have been racial discrimination.
no comment. That team
It's fair.
plays the SEC schedule. So instead of playing Duke,
They get Vanderbilt.
they get Vanderbilt.
They'd
Sure.
be in the SEC East, so they would get Vanderbilt.
Why would they be in the East? Oh, they would be in the East.
Because they're in Clemson.
Right. You're right.
They'd be in the East. So
You're
they'd
right.
get Florida, Vandy, Tennessee. I mean, like they would not get the
It wouldn't-
schedule you
it
want
wouldn't
them
have been
to.
it wouldn't have been as hard as the
They
last.
would have had to play Georgia,
They would have played
and Georgia was not at the peak of their powers then.
No.
And then they would have had to play.
Georgia was still competing. at
Correct,
a high
but
level.
they would have had to play Alabama twice. They would have had to play them in the national championship and the SEC
The
championship.
trenches, though, they would have that like.
Dude, they were boss in the trenches. Christian
but-
Wilkins,
But the thing is like
Shipley.
it's the same argument now as Texas and OU coming into the SEC.
Very different. That
You
team
don't
was a
have-
national champion.
You don't play. I'm trying to
I get what
recall.
you're saying, that they play a different level of schedule, but it's
Totally
very
different
different
level of
because
schedule.
that Clemson team was better than every version of Oklahoma and Texas because they made it to and won the national championship against an Alabama team that everyone thought was unbeatable.
They also lost to an Alabama team in between those years.
No, I understand. I'm talking about the team that won the national championship.
I understand.
They were,
but
but Oklahoma.
Georgia won a national championship after losing to Alabama.
Yeah, I'm just saying that any of those Oklahoma or Texas teams loses to that Alabama team by 30.
Yep. I agree with that.
I'm just saying I think it changes I think it would make the league better if Clemson
It
was
would make
in
the league
as-
better, but as a Texas A&M fan, you don't want better teams.
Dude, I want to compete no matter what.
You're not competing. You're becoming the new Vanderbilt.
See, I don't agree with you, and this is where we're different. I believe
just
in our
saying.
team.
I believe in our team too, but there's also a history of your big brother is in the conference now. Texas is the big brother to Texas A&M. That's a fact. Historically factual. Now, has it been more even as of late? Yes, but it's the same thing. That is one of those games where anything can happen any year, and it's fun. It makes those games so much fun. A&M could be pathetically bad, and they will hold Texas till the end, or will beat Texas, and that'll be their win, or vice versa. But you don't want to have to play more good teams every year.
I don't
if
think
you
we're
were-
going to have an option, Austin. I don't think it's going to be an option.
I mean, I would love it if we could just stop
I think
mixing
we're
around
gonna-
all the conferences. Would be
I would-
great.
I would love it if we would just step up to the plate and play at a higher level.
No, what I would love is what Austin is saying. Get rid of the cupcake games and let's just play football.
That is
What?
the opposite of what I am saying.
That's not what
I
he's
am
Never mind.
saying the
That's
opposite
what I'm
of that.
saying.
I am
He's
saying
saying
stop.
he
I'm
doesn't
saying
want to add teams to the conference that would make it harder.
I think you get rid of conferences altogether and you just play football.
Now that's not
well, that
that's
doesn't
not how
work.
this works.
That doesn't
man.
work. We just don't have every team show up and play some football.
How the schedule
No.
would work.
Just get rid of the cupcake games. That's all I'm tired of.
Dude, we need those cupcake games. We almost lost to Nickel State a few years ago.
You
All right,
know,
listen, Jimbo was not great.
We almost lost to Nichols State like 3 years ago.
I think we're in for a good change here.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I
we
would love
freaking
it.
better. I've already bought my ticket to the Natty. Okay.
I'm saying I would love as an A&M fan. My freshman year was Johnny's first year, and it was great. It was amazing.
It was a good year.
That team was more than just Johnny Manziel. That defense was incredible. Obviously, Johnny Manziel was also very good. But 2 freshman interceptions, both at home, by the way. So very unfortunate. Cost that team from going undefeated and into the SEC championship. Like, we literally have never watched Texas A&M make it to the conference championship game. And I would love to see that one day. And what is not going to help that? What is not going to help that process is inviting more good teams that are historically better than we are, historically better, into the conference.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with Austin on that.
Not even historically better, also recently better.
Once upon a time, there was a thing called Clemsoning. All it takes is one coach to turn the program around.
Yeah, I'm all for that. But
I mean,
also there's
you have to think about it. Clemson, like when we were kids, it's like winning like 2 games a year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
it's very recent. Clemson is a very recent memory.
It's also very rare to find that coach.
No, 100%. It's rare. No,
yeah, and also not only did they find that coach, they found the perfect version of that coach. Dabo Swinney is unlike any coach in America.
You're right.
He's a weird dude.
His own cult.
He's a weird dude. He loves to be the guy and worshipped and all of those things, and he doesn't want to be hated. And so he didn't leave, and he'll stay there forever. Like, Dabo Swinney 100% should have left Clemson a long time ago.
I feel like the only I always argued that if Alabama tried hard enough, they would get Dabo.
Clemson is closer to winning 2 games a year than they are to winning a national championship.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? Clemson
is closer to going back to only winning 2 games a year than they are to winning a national championship. Dabo should have left that program years ago.
100%. They're not. They're good. They're a 9-win team, 10-win team.
But eventually it's going to – if he never uses the transfer portal, it's just going to go down every year.
Yeah. Now, granted –
he'll get fired before then. So unless they gave him a lifetime contract that I'm unaware of, like if they ever win 6 games, he's fired.
All contracts can be bought out, Austin. We are walking proof that contracts can be bought out.
I'm just saying Dabo might not take the buyout. He might just be like, I'm going to stay at Clemson until I die. I don't know. Maybe he's brainwashed.
Maybe. All right. We got off. I guess we were talking about Clemson.
That was good. That was a good ACC, good, solid hour of college football talk. Who do we think is going to win the ACC?
I don't want to fall into the trap.
Don't say Florida State. It ain't them.
I want to say Miami.
Okay, wait a second. You have just been talking trash against Miami this entire episode.
No.
And now you're like, they're going to win the ACC.
No. I did not talk trash against them. I just said I'd rather be SMU for the next 20 years than Miami.
I'm going to
Wait, hold on, Shane. I'm sorry. You think that if Miami if they win the ACC this year, that they're not going to get their swagger back a little bit, but SMU's just going to be like, we got white boy money, hooray. No, like if Miami starts winning the ACC and making playoffs, like they're going to come back so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's my thing. So if I had to pick right now, two teams that would make the ACC championship game, I would take NC State and Miami.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking Miami over NC State, but I'm going to. But I feel like I'm buying into something that's not worth it. Like
Hey.
I feel like they had the hype train behind them last year.
Yeah,
I'm
staying away.
They were hyped up last year, and they still were so underwhelming. As
Can
a team.
NC State get that guy who played basketball for them in the tourney to play like right guard?
No, he's on a Sacramento Kings roster.
Well, let's get him to go play for the NC State Wolfpack at right guard.
Dude,
that dude was a monster.
That dude's lost like 60 pounds going into the league.
And he was silky smooth with the ball.
He
right.
He made an NBA roster, so good for him.
Nice. I am on team. I think NC State is going
I like
Yeah.
NC State a lot.
the best
I think
year.
they might run away with the conference. To be
They're
honest,
at 8.5.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to run away with the conference because that conference will also be just like the Big 12.
It'll be an interesting conference.
There's gonna be games, and also a lot of these teams have to play Notre Dame. So, depending on how good Notre Dame is, Notre Dame could determine who the ACC champion is. It's almost like they should be a part of the ACC, but they just
That'd be
refuse to
wild.
join.
Can we talk? Can we talk about the first ACC game of the year?
Florida State, Georgia Tech. Is that
I'm
what
gonna do something a little wild here.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Georgia Tech beats Florida State.
I was gonna say that earlier, but I didn't know if I should.
Haynes King.
It's the two of y'all with freaking Haynes King. I knew it.
I'm telling you,
You
right
know one player's name on Georgia Tech's roster, and you're like, they're gonna beat Florida State.
now,
They're gonna beat Florida State.
I watched them last year, and
He's a good old lag. They're gonna beat up Florida
Dude,
State.
They beat Clemson last year. He played. Haynes King looks great. when he's
Fantastic. Clemson's not that good.
playing. Dude. Clemson won 9 games last year.
Okay, they're not that good. I watched Cade Klubnik play a lot of football. He's not that good.
Georgia Tech. Okay, well, first off, it's not just Haynes King. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Wide receiver, played at Texas A&M also.
He's gone.
He left? He left Georgia
Oh, no.
Tech?
Chase Lane's there.
Yeah, I was about to say Chase Lane. Okay, Chase Lane was the name I was thinking of. But here's my thing.
So they got two good old lags. So they're gonna beat Florida. They're going undefeated national champion.
No, they got Ryland Goody. He's a tight end.
No.
They got 3 Texas
Oh,
Zags.
never mind. That's a Mississippi State guy.
Oh golly.
Here's
Mississippi
the
State
thing.
always beats Texas A&M, so that's pretty good.
No, listen. Here's the problem with Florida State.
They lost their entire team.
They lost their entire team. For some reason, people still think DJ can play football.
Oh, you're telling me that DJ Ongolule can't play football? How dare you?
My dude's on his 3rd team and has sucked everywhere he's gone.
Nah, he's been average.
He's average, but average at this level just doesn't cut it.
I mean, yeah, he's not pulling up trees anywhere, but I mean, he's average.
Well,
It's not like Haynes King has been like lighting it up wherever he's been.
I mean, Haynes King last year had some great year. He had a good year.
I'm just saying the year before that, I wouldn't be like, that's the guy.
The year before that, he got freaking hurt.
Not great. You know what the best quality you can have in your game? Availability.
Dang, Austin.
Yeah, and last year he was available for Georgia Tech, and he played really freaking good.
We'll see. I'm
Really
gonna take.
freaking good might be a tad exaggerated.
For Georgia Tech,
I mean, yeah, he might have been good for Georgia Tech, but like
for the ACC,
is good for Georgia Tech.
For the ACC, he was good.
I'm just saying, Florida State are 10.5 point favorites
Dude, he played
on the road.
I'm
That's a
telling
lot.
you right now, I'm taking Georgia Tech.
You do that. Now, I might take Georgia Tech against the spread,
Red.
but I'm not going to take Georgia Tech straight up.
I'm taking them straight up.
I'm with Jonathan on this one.
Here's the thing. I think Florida State has one of those years where they feel sorry for themselves. And they may come out and they may look like they're angry about last year. We're going to prove a point. First off, none of y'all are proving any point because you weren't on the fucking team last year. You weren't the starter. You weren't the guy. You weren't the team that went 13-0. You're the team that's coming after the team that went to 13-0. You ain't shit. So therefore, I think Florida State's kind of in a situation here where they may end up being in trouble. They may suck.
They got some depth in the trenches.
That's cool.
I mean, that's humongous in college football.
No, 100%. 100%. You better use it. What,
And,
DJ just on the run?
No, but Keziah Holmes is going to run.
Keziah Holmes. Great. What's the defense look like?
I mean, their defense doesn't look like it's low on defensive line wise. I don't know about their. I mean,
I'm telling you, watch on Saturday, Georgia Tech, Florida State.
I'm just saying they definitely. They're still a pretty talented roster. I want to know where they have a kid that's from Austin, Texas. I want to know where high school he went to.
Go to the playoff predictor for Georgia Tech.
Are they even on there?
Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hey, A&M is on there, so that's good. All right. I'm done talking about college football. It's been over an hour. We have got to talk about something.
Well, college football actually starts this week. We have 3 weeks.
My computer won't charge, and it's gonna die soon if we don't hurry up.
Yeah. College football kind of starts this week.
It starts this week.
It kind of starts.
Austin hates
first of all, this week is called week 0. So does it really start this week if it's called week 0?
It starts. I don't know what to tell you. We have actual football being played. Sorry that I love actual football.
I love actual football as well. We got high school football popping off right now.
When's that first game?
We have a scrimmage Thursday.
Nice. Against who?
But the scrimmage isn't real. So I think Eastview High School.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll beat them by 80.
Is that we had them in the first half? They had us in the first half?
Yes, it is.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You never seen
the kid.
I've seen that meme. Was that from Eastview High School?
That was from Eastview High School.
No way.
The kid that went viral.
That's hilarious. That is right down.
They had us down.
That is right down the street from my house.
Yeah, yeah, that was like one of their first years being open too.
I think it was the very first year of them.
I bet they were terrible because they still are.
But man, that kid should be hired as a motivator. I'd say kid. The guy's like 26 now, or 25. But yeah, no, that guy should be hired as a motivational speaker. If you're watching this, come on the pod.
Yeah. If you're a real estate agent in Georgetown, Texas, let us know.
Dude,
right.
That would be oh, dude, I'm going to try to find that kid. I'm going to reach out, asking him to come on the pod.
All right. We will do the briefest of briefs on professional football because what is there even to talk about? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? We do all this. We work ourselves up trying to predict the future over here. And then obviously we're always right. So what's the point of working ourselves up over it?
Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs will not win the Super Bowl, but I would love it if they did.
Dude, he said that last year and they won the damn Super Bowl. He says it every freaking year. Austin, when are you going to get it through your head that you guys are freaking good?
Yeah, but no one's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row.
You know what Shane and I would do?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
We would do.
Don't you dare! I used to be the bad team, and I know what you would do because I used to want to do it.
Dude, I would do a lot for $20, but I would do a lot more for a Super Bowl.
That's fair. I mean, I really hope that that's true. Because if it's not true, that's real bad. No, I mean, the Chiefs could win the Super Bowl. So could 8 other teams.
Yeah, every year's that way. But when you have the best,
every year is not that way. The NFL is getting so much more even and so much better to watch. I mean, when Tom Brady and the Patriots were on their dynasty, there was not 8 teams winning the Super Bowl.
For sure. You're right.
Now, did you occasionally have an Eli Manning-led Giants win the Super Bowl or a
2
Joe Flacco-led Ravens win the Super Bowl? Yeah, but most of the year it was like, hey,
sure didn't have Lamar Jackson.
I'm just saying, most of the years it was, hey, there are 3 teams that could win the Super Bowl. Right now, I think there are 8 teams who could win the Super Bowl in the freaking AFC alone.
Hey, when's the last time Baltimore won a Super Bowl?
Joey Footsteps.
We had a white guy in a pocket throwing a football.
When the power went out? Was that the Super
true.
Bowl the power went out?
Yeah, I think that is the Super Bowl. But they had
Jim Harbaugh cheated?
They had a guy that stood in a pocket and threw a football. You know, actually,
were they playing against Colin Kaepernick that game?
I think so.
Just to make this go full circle. Oh, hey, speaking of that, Jonathan, I have a question for you. Did you see that Jim Harbaugh offered Colin Kaepernick a coaching job with the Los Angeles Chargers?
Oh my
I
God.
really wanted to get your opinion on that last week.
All right, listen. Here's my opinion. I'll give you straight up my opinion, right?
Was Colin Kaepernick the quarterback then, or was it not Colin Kaepernick?
No, that was Colin Kaepernick.
In the Super Bowl?
Yep, it was Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I know it was San Francisco, but
yes,
was
it was Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick started a Super Bowl?
He did.
I really thought it was that short white guy.
Halftime was Beyonce featuring Destiny's Child.
And she broke it, and then the lights went out. And then that led Baltimore to an amazing comeback.
Okay, you want my answer?
To what? Who's winning the Super Bowl?
No. My answer on your question you just asked, how I feel
about Colin Kaepernick getting offered a job that didn't actually exist, but Jim Harbaugh wanted some media.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a straight gimmick.
Also, Colin,
the fact of the matter is Jim.
He's never going to accept that.
He's not going to accept. The man still thinks he can play in the league.
If he doesn't, but if he doesn't keep the bit going, he gets out of the media and he loses all of his money.
He was irrelevant anyways.
I'm just saying that is how it's going. And it's the same reason why Jim Harbaugh is like, I offered him as a job. It's a free hit for him to gain some good press with Los Angeles, where he now lives, after he's been in Michigan.
Dude,
probably saying everything the opposite of what people from Los Angeles would want to hear. And so he's got to say, he's like, I know Colin won't accept it, and I know it plays into his, but they probably talked about it together, and they probably sitting there having a beer, laughing their butts off, be like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if you just said in a press conference that you offered me a job? Like, yeah, that'd be great.
That's probably true. All right, I went back and looked at the stats. Joe Flacco, 22 of 33.
Jacoby Jones had a monster game.
287 yards.
Not bad.
3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 2 sacks, 0 rushing yards.
Well, not surprised.
That's fair.
Jacoby Johnson had 1 catch for 56 yards.
Punt return for a touchdown too.
He also had a fumble for a loss.
Man, that's fine. Punt return for a touchdown. Changed the game.
Ray Rice.
Monster.
Oh, Ray Rice. Forgot about
Ray Rice was a monster. Him and Maurice Jones-Drew were the most bowling ball running backs in NFL history.
Yes.
They were just short and round.
I hope Ray Rice is doing okay. I hope he's come out on the other side.
You want to know why Colin Kaepernick's not in the league? 16 of 28, 302 yards. Great yards, right? One touchdown, one
That's
interception, 3 sacks. He
16 catches for 16 receptions, like completed passes for
Yes,
300 yards is
yards.
insane.
That's insane.
How many
Like,
did Randy Moss have? How many?
Everything was
yards
just
did
a
Moss
deep bomb.
So Michael Crabtree had 5 receptions that game for 109 yards.
Jeez.
How did he only have one touchdown?
1 touchdown. Vernon Davis had 6 receptions for
Vernon
104
Davis,
yards.
one of the most respected tight ends in NFL history. You put some respect on my
104
name.
yards. 104 yards.
So there's 210 between the two of them.
How did Colin Kaepernick only throw for one
Randy
touchdown?
Moss only had 2 receptions this game.
Dude, I totally forgot for like the longest period of time that Randy Moss played for the
I forgot
49ers.
Randy Moss was on this team.
How many yards did he have? 2 receptions and 10 yards?
No, he only goes
41
deep.
yards.
He only goes
41
deep,
yards.
buddy.
Yeah, no, he only threw to 4 wide receivers, or 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end. Randy Moss had 2 receptions for 41 yards, and Delaney Walker
Yeah, also great tight end.
I was going to say, great time.
had 3 receptions
God, Delaney Walker's that old?
for 48
Yeah,
yards.
dude, Delaney Walker's pretty old. And also, he really wasn't that good now that I think about it. He was all right. I mean, we all immediately said great tight end. No, Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates are great tight ends. Delaney Walker was an all right tight end. He's above average. All right, hey,
Get caught up in the moment sometimes. You get caught
let's
up.
talk about current AFC North teams. The Steelers are once again favored to get last place in the AFC North, and it has never happened. They have literally never got last place.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I don't know what's
No,
going to
it's-
happen.
They've
I mean,
got Mike Tomlin. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Browns.
Listen, can we just
It's going to be the Browns. The Browns are going to Browns.
how
Or the Bengals, because Joe Burrow will get hurt week 2.
how many years has Mike Tomlin been the head coach?
Forever.
Been like most of our entire lives.
Yeah.
When are we going to accept the fact that the man might be one of the best coaches ever to live?
Depends on what's your number for one of.
Okay.
I'd say he's top
10.
15.
Top 10.
Top 15.
Top 10.
I'll give you top 12.
I'll
Ever?
take it.
Ever?
Name 12.
Top 12 ever.
Name 12.
Name 12?
Name 12. I can't.
Belichick.
I'll be the first one to say I'll get to like 5 and I'll be done.
Belichick.
Okay.
Shula.
Okay.
Andy Reid.
Yep.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Andy Reid is one of the best coaches ever.
Pete Carroll.
Ooh.
I might get flack for this, but I'm going to put Kyle Shanahan in there.
No.
No.
No, not above Mike Tomlin. Kyle Shanahan has the potential to break this list. He's not there yet.
He's not there yet.
Sean
Sorry, I gotta-
Payton.
No, I
Sean
gotta go
Payton.
old. Shh, shh, shh. Bill Parcells,
Yeah.
Okay.
Walsh.
Okay.
What
Where we at, Shane? 7?
What about what's Jimmy
Hold on, hold
Johnson?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson,
Jimmy Johnson. That's the one I was wondering.
Ditka.
Ditka. Yep. He's in there.
I mean, he's around 12. Yeah.
He's
Right
trying
now,
so
he would
hard
be
to get
number
to 12.
10. He would be
Yo,
10.
there's like 60 years. I got a lot to think about.
Vince Lombardi.
Yeah. Lombardi, Hank Stram. Oh gosh, John Madden. How do we just? I mean, he might not be 12 anymore.
We opened the
I don't know.
floodgates.
No, it's hard. It's hard with the old coaches.
The
is
old
thing.
coaches.
It's
Yeah.
really hard with the old coaches, but it's like you got to give Bill Walsh has got to be like around number 1 because he revolutionized football to what it is today, and they've been copying it for forever. But
John
also,
Gruden.
shut up! How dare you?
We would have won a Super Bowl if John Gruden never got fired.
If it's just it's hard to like think about. Like Bill Walsh is
He
definitely
made one monkey comment.
probably the best coach of all time, but because he was so revolutionary. But would Bill Walsh be good now? Now that everyone copies Bill Walsh, like that's things to think about. But I mean, no, I have a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin. The fact that he was able to take Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown and turn that into just one of like just a functional system with just how dysfunctional those three human beings are as people is just he's a great coach. He's a great leader of men, but is he one of the best coaches? Like how many times is their offense just putrid?
He's too loyal, that's for sure. He's very.
If he could just get anything figured out on offense, they would be great.
Well, here's the thing: when you ask Google, it pulls all the sources from the internet and combines the list to make an average top 50 coaches.
Sounds like we got some fake.
Tony Dungy.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin, on average, through the entire internet, falls into number 14.
Okay, 12 was not bad. I mean, I said 15 originally, but
here's the thing: they also put Curly Lambeau.
So the
1898 to
who Lambeau Field is named after. Field. Yeah,
and then they also put Paul Brown. 1908 to 1999.
Oh, so that brings us directly to 12.
Wait, 1908? He coached from.
He didn't coach. These are the years they were alive. Kind of like how you think 1992 is when Mac Brown's wife was born.
We also didn't throw Sean Payton in that list, but I don't know where. I don't think I would rank him above Mike Tomlin, but.
He's got a movie made after him. He's definitely ahead of Mike Tomlin.
No, his movie is starring Kevin James as him because he was disgraced.
It's a comedy.
Here's the thing. Mike Tomlin in this era, I would put Mike Tomlin in the top 3 of this era.
Shane, you ain't
athletes.
Like this.
Maybe not coaching, but with the athletes you have nowadays, I would want Mike Tomlin as my head coach.
You ain't all like this, but Sean Payton's pretty far down this list, and some of the names that are above him are John Gruden.
That's because he has a scandal.
Sean McVay. Bum Phillips.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Wade Phillips. Let's go.
Jeff Fisher.
Also, Mike Tomlin might not even be the best coach of his franchise.
Shanahan.
The Steelers have had historically good coaches. He might be the 3rd best coach of his own franchise. He's got a lot to deal with. All right. But we can all agree that the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to get last place in their division.
No. Not happening. Browns.
It's probably the Browns or Bengals because Deshaun gets hurt and Joe Burrow gets hurt.
Joe Burrow gets hurt.
So that's kind of what happens. Let's see. We did the East last week. Let's see. The AFC South, not a chance that the Houston Texans don't win. Like the Houston Texans.
I think the Houston Texans win.
I think CJ Stroud could get hurt and they would still win that division. Their offseason this year was insane. Yeah. They brought in everybody.
Yeah. They're going to be really good.
The Houston Texans are like, if we don't win this, they're doing the Rams. They're doing the Rams from a few years ago. Now the only difference is they do have a rookie contract quarterback, so they can do it for longer. They can do it for longer.
Yeah, they're younger.
Well, in like a couple key positions, but not all across the board. But yes.
Yeah, but I mean, they're younger than what the Rams did.
Yeah, for sure. They're younger than what the Rams did. They're doing a slightly younger version of but the Houston Texans in 2 years are going to be in the definition of cap hell. It will be impossible to pay so many like
Will Anderson.
The Texans are going to be divided up for sure.
Yeah.
They're just banking that they win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, 3
And
years.
Marco May.
the team that would be the same, except for they are maybe slightly more advanced along in the quarterback department. The Packers are doing the same thing. The Packers are really young. Their whole offense is full of young players. Jordan Love has been paid is the difference. So they're going to have to decide which of their people that they pay and which they don't. But I think the Texans roster is so stacked that they could lose Jordan Love and they could still win this crap show of a division.
I think Houston. I would be shocked if they didn't win their division. Absolutely shocked.
Now I'm curious to look at everyone's over-unders.
Because Indiana's going to win 6 games?
No, they'll win more than that. They won more than that last year with their backup quarterback for the whole season.
Gardner Minshew.
That's not a backup quarterback. That's a starting quarterback in the league.
For one of the worst teams in the league, yeah.
That is the GOAT
Okay,
of the Van people.
Let's relax.
The
Okay,
GOAT of the Van people.
Go to the Van people.
Guy.
Shane, you're going to take Indianapolis on their under then because their over-under is 8.5.
I hope you know that Gardner Minshew.
I'd still take the under at 8.
That's what I'm saying. 8.5. That's exactly. You said 6 games, so I mean, that's an easy under for you.
Yeah.
Austin, what I need you to understand.
Who's the non-conference? What division are they?
They are the NFC North.
The Raiders are going to have the best vibes in the.
I mean, drawing the NFC North is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, the Vikings are going to be bad. The poor Minnesota Vikings, I don't know if we've talked about this on camera yet. They have had the worst offseason in NFL history. Yeah. They had a player die. They had players get arrested. They've lost 2 players for season, like 2 key players, including their starting quarterback, to season-long injuries in the preseason. Like, I feel terrible for the Vikings.
Yeah, and I kind of
What did I admit? Who died?
They had a player they drafted this year died.
It was during OTAs, I think.
Yeah. He died in like a car accident, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, car accident. Okay.
Yeah, and then because that was
he didn't Damar Hamlin.
I was about to make a really bad COVID joke.
I'm just saying he died, and then another player got in an accident and got hurt. Like the week after this guy died,
arrested for DWI.
No, well, yeah, sorry. The guy that got killed, he was not intoxicated.
No.
But a drunk driver hit him and killed him. And then the next week, a player from the Vikings got a DWI. And it's like, how do you not?
It's a bad look.
It's a bad look. And then they had another player get arrested. They had J.J. McCarthy out for the year. They had a different player out for the year.
Who's going to play quarterback?
Jordan Addison got hurt, but not for the year. So he's going to miss a significant amount of time, I believe, at the beginning of the year. The Vikings.
Did we just feel bad for Justin Jefferson in this?
I mean, did he not get paid? He got paid. Did he not? I mean, he got paid. So I don't feel bad for him.
Listen, you can feel bad for someone that makes more money.
No. But I don't feel bad for you when you got your paycheck. Like, you're good.
Yeah, but like.
They all make more money than me. I feel bad for plenty of them. I don't feel bad for Justin Jefferson, who got paid as one of the highest receivers of all time.
Yeah, but you still want to win.
Well, they weren't going to win anyway. So
was I supposed to know that Sam Darnold was a Minnesota Viking now?
Yes, you were. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, pick, dude. No joke. I'm going to do my best Sam Darnold impersonation right quick. He throws a pick 6. They run it back, and you see the camera, and he's like this. This man has already got defeated. It's the preseason. This man is already on the field.
Jonathan's over here saying, I got to feel bad for Justin Jefferson because he lost a rookie quarterback who was carried by his defense. We're acting like J.J. McCarthy was going to be amazing.
He's a system quarterback, Austin. Okay. Put the right system around him. He'll be all right.
JJ
guess what?
McCarthy wasn't
He
going
threw
to
a good
sniff
ball.
2 seasons in the NFL.
He threw a pretty good ball in the first week of the preseason. Just saying.
He's going to be teaching yoga in 3 years.
That's
So
a
did
big one.
so did
We
Ben
went from selling
DiNucci. but-
insurance to yoga.
Yeah, no, he does meditation. That's his
Meditation,
thing. He
yeah.
meditates. He meditates at the goalpost.
I did see a very funny comment on Reddit, and the guy was very serious. He said they should trade for Kirk Cousins because this veteran quarterback would
That was
be
good.
a good fit.
Yeah, that was good. To answer Shane's earlier question, they also have to play the AFC East. So they are the
Yeah,
AFC South is going to go through the ringer this
Yeah, they
year.
are.
That's that. And then the AFC West, and then that'll close us up.
Oh,
for
Raiders
the
won
week.
it.
No, are you kidding me? The Broncos are going to win. Don't you know? They're 2-0 in the preseason.
Dude,
Bo Nix, phenom.
they're talking crazy.
What are the odds for the Broncos to win the AFC East?
Well, 0% because they're in the AFC West.
Sorry,
But yeah,
East, West, same thing.
what are the odds? I don't know. Low.
I figured they would have some unusual.
They are literally last place, plus 2,000.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, the obvious answer.
dude.
for
The rest of their team is so bad. The Broncos' rest of their team is so bad. They lost Justin Simmons. Is Cortland Sutton even still there? I mean, they've got issues.
Yeah. I mean, and well, there's one team in that division that.
Hey, good for Vegas for finally not favoring the Chargers to win the division, though. So good for them. Because every year it's the Chargers win the offseason Super Bowl, and they're going to be the team to beat in the AFC West.
Dude, the Raiders are winning this thing.
It's possible. Their defensive line is going to be a nightmare for everyone.
Yeah, but yeah.
Let's be honest. If you got an extra $1 million, bet it on the Chiefs.
Don't know. Maybe to win the division, but don't
Yeah,
bet them on
yeah,
the,
that's
on
what I'm
the Super
saying.
Bowl.
To win that division, put it on
To
the
win
Chiefs.
the division, I would put money on the Chiefs, but I am hopeful that Gardner
Let's be
Minshew will
honest,
lead us to the
that's-
promised land.
Just talking division-wise, that's not a tough division.
Debatable.
Austin's going to say that, but the
Debatable.
reality of the situation is that is not a tough division.
That's a pretty tough division.
No, it is not.
It's a debatably tough division.
It's
I'm
a
gonna
very overhyped division.
I'm going to take the under for Denver, Las Vegas, and the Chargers. I
No
don't even know
way.
what their over-unders are, but I'm going to take the under on every
All right,
single.
no one listen to Shane because let's go through this now because now I'm intrigued.
I think that's crazy, Shane.
All right, wait. First of all, Shane, before you say that, let's talk about who they have to play out of conference. It is looking like the AFC North. So that's good for Shane's under. Oh, but the NFC South. I mean, come on. That hurts. So you got 4 wins and 4 losses right there on the schedule. Okay. Shane, the Denver Broncos are predicted to win 5.5 games. I'm with Shane on the under for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I've got them winning 5.
Oh, that's closer than I would like it to be for a bet, but it depends. It depends on if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy till week 4. The Las Vegas Raiders are 6.5.
Let's go over, baby. Smash the over.
That does seem a little low. Oh, what did you do? What did you do?
No. No.
I'm telling you, 6 is that's gonna be
I was
tough.
gonna say 6.5 is a pretty good line. I'm gonna stay away from that one.
I
You didn't hear that.
actually, when I was smashing the over, I hit the counter like I was knocking, and the dogs went berserk.
The Chargers are only at 8.5, and the Chiefs are at 11.5. I will say this: hammer the Chiefs under.
I'm telling you, Jay, if you can parlay those three to hit the under, it might not be a sad little prop bet for yourself.
12 wins is so tough in the NFL, especially when you got to play the AFC North.
Yeah, but I'm not
got
gonna
to hammer the Chiefs under.
I am staying away. I will not bet a single dime on the Chiefs on positive or negative. There's not a penny I would bet on them.
Can I?
No, you can't.
I need to say something.
No, you can't.
No, I really have to. I have to.
Okay.
Reality's sinking in for Austin that if you just want to sprinkle like 10 or 20 bucks on those three to hit the under, it might not be a bad little bet.
It's not relevant, but I need to say something. Steve Kerr went to the DNC tonight.
Man.
And in quote, in the words of the what?
Did he get a vasectomy?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Free.
This man should not reproduce.
He did, but his son got killed. No, that was his dad.
Oh, God.
Jesus, dude, you have to get these facts right.
Sorry, Steve. It was just a hope.
He said,
Good Lord.
quote, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump night, night, and then did the sleepy thing. I just want to say, and we've been recording for quite some time now, so my boss
We're pushing 2 hours.
Yeah, my boss isn't watching at this point. I just want to say
what happened to his dad.
that Steve Kerr can go fuck himself so hard.
No,
that man can't walk for the next
That's
year.
fine. Go do the political issue of it. But I'm just saying, like, is there anyone like that is a lame
No one gives a
comment?
fuck
No,
about.
I'm saying like how are you someone that hit a game winner in an NBA final and you have just like you were just not cool?
I'll just
That is the lamest comment.
I'll just say it. The guy sucks as a coach, anyways. The USA team showed it. He's a terrible fucking coach.
Hey,
He's been carried by his players his whole fucking career. He's a joke of a coach.
You know what?
His lineups are trash. His minutes are trash. Everything about his coaching style is fucking trash. The worst coach in USA men's basketball history in the past 30 years. 40 years. 50 years.
This guy also, he calls for peace. But that's a pretty insensitive comment after this other guy just got shot. So saying what does he mean by night night? That seems kind of inappropriate, right?
Does seem inappropriate. Words have meaning, Steve.
Yeah, they do. Words.
Someone could take it the wrong way and
exactly.
act on it. You never know.
So you know what? Steve is responsible for any assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Fuck
You know what they say, Jonathan, when there's no need for subtlety, just explain it for them.
Well, you have to explain it for them. They're all fucking idiots.
That's gonna do it for us this week. We've done it. We've done enough. We're pushing like an hour 45, and we will cover the remaining 3 divisions of. No one's listening. I don't know why I'm explaining this. We'll talk more things next week. We're so thankful that y'all have tuned in.
Gotta get off the rails.
We should have a full barn hopefully next week. We'll have actual football to talk about, which thank the Lord, because trying to predict the future is just
you always just look stupid. If we're being honest, you just always look stupid.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to keep saying that the Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl, and they're going to keep winning Super Bowls, and it's just going to be so unfortunate. But I need a new flag, by the way. This is the old flag, but I didn't want to buy a new flag. That seems kind of like a waste of money. What I really want
good in Taylor Swift land and Kelsey. Have we got any?
Oh yeah, the rumors are they're going to be an engagement announcement soon. Taylor wisely wrapping up her tours overseas to come back so that she can come back in time for football season. I mean,
we love the Swifties on this podcast. Big Swifty podcast.
Big Swifties on the pod. Yeah, we're a big Swifty podcast for sure. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this season's gonna go. Let us know in the comments if you're still listening. Please comment below and say like, I made it. If we had a prize to give you, we would give it to you, but we don't.
Comment below and say I hate Steve Kerr.
Okay, don't necessarily say that, but if you want to, you can. But like that's not like the key word to win a prize.
We'll give you a freaking prize.
No, Jonathan will give you a prize. Comment
What's the
below that
prize?
you hate Steve Kerr.
I'll come up with something. If someone actually comments it, I promise you I'll make it worth your while.
Oh, dude, you know Rhonda's calling you out now. Rhonda's gonna listen to the whole thing and then just I hate Steve Kerr.
I'm making magnets right now. I hate Steve Kerr.
Just we're all so thankful that y'all listen, and we're just thankful that we get to do this and talk about football because it's what we love. And I'm freaking fracking excited for this upcoming fracking excited for this upcoming football season. Like we're gonna have so much fun. You're gonna just love our political commentary as we go along. We're gonna go famous on YouTube. Maybe not for the good reason, but we're gonna get famous. So it's gonna be a good time.
We'll definitely spread some misinformation.
No, never. We did not spread like 6 different things about Mac Brown's wife.
Mac Brown got married.
Steve Kerr's son. A whole bunch of things.
Not real.
So yeah, dude, COVID is real. Oh, someone who's gotten it quite a few times. It's pretty real. But we appreciate y'all, and we just want y'all to know.
I got some ivermectin.
There you go. Make good choices. We'll see y'all next week.